Hello folks and welcome back to Invincible Asia. What you're about to see is a brief Q&A session that was supposed to be included on the Tiger Cage Blu-ray Trilogy release from 88 Films. The questions were sent over from Mike Leader, but the finished piece didn't make the cut. I don't know why. Hey, sure, you can't have everything, right? So yes, thanks for watching. Check it out. It's just my own personal thoughts on the movies, Yuen Woo-ping, the actors involved and things like that. And hope you enjoy. Although there have been a small number of kung fu comedies out before the Yuen Woo-ping and Jackie Chan seasonal movies, some from those guys themselves, others from the likes of Sammo Hung, Lau Gar-leung and others of course, I do believe that it was them that kind of really set the standard for what would become a hugely popular subgenre of Hong Kong movies. While Jackie would kind of go on to make a few more like that, such as Fearless Hyena, The Young Master and Dragon Lord, he quickly moved into modern day action movies along with Sammo Hung, whereas Yuen Woo-ping would kind of stick around with it for a wee while longer with the likes of Dance of the Drunk Mantis, Buddhist Fist, Magnificent Butcher, Dreadnought, Miracle Fighter, Shaolin Drunkard, and then of course the amazing Drunken Tai Chi, which introduced the world to the incredible Donnie Yen. And then of course it would be about another 4 years after that before the first Tiger Cage movie came about. And many would claim that to be his first, Yuen Woo-ping's first foray into modern action, let's say. But a year after Drunken Tai Chi came Mismatched Couples, which we can't forget about, this wonderful hybrid martial arts breakdance comedy, which was just nuts and saw Yuen Woo-ping starring alongside Donnie Yen, and that itself offered up some fantastic modern day action from Yuen Woo-ping and Donnie Yen, proving that they weren't all about the traditional styles and the kung fu and the comedy, and putting their own stamp there and then on modern day action cinema as we know it. When you talk about what makes a modern day Yuen Woo-ping or Donnie Yen action movie different to say like a Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung movie, I think it all comes down to the choreography at the end of the day. While Donnie's style has changed over the years and kind of progressed somewhat, I think that you can still tell when he's under the direction of Yuen Woo-ping, just like you can always tell when you're watching a Yuen Woo-ping movie. There's a particular flair and style that was very different to everything else that was on offer when Yuen Woo-ping is behind the camera. I think in knowing what Yuen Woo-ping has done as an actor and choreographer from his early Shaw Brothers days onwards, I think that he has always been somewhat of a progressive director, always looking to bring something new and fresh to the table, as well as being incredibly creative with his style, of course. But I also think that having a young Donnie Yen on board has really helped encourage him to do that even more so, because that's when you start to see a real big difference in Yuen Woo-ping's work whenever he brings Donnie in with Drunken Tai Chi, and that's when we start to see a massive change in the direction that he's taking. I never got the chance to see Drunken Tai Chi until the late 90s whenever Eastern Heroes released it on DVD. So my first introduction to Donnie Yen, I remember being an ex-rental VHS that I found of In the Line of Duty 4, which was amazing. About 2 or 3 weeks after that, I managed luckily to pick up an ex-rental of Tiger Cage 2, which blew me away, and that was me hooked, totally hooked. And then from there, of course, I was on the lookout for as much Donnie Yen as I could possibly find, which turned into something of an obsession. I think growing up in Boston allowed Donnie to come to the table with something fresh, something a bit more exciting when it came to choreography and the fight scenes. And I think that Yuen Woo-ping trusted what Donnie had to offer and what he could do. And that's why I talked about the changes in Yuen Woo-ping's direction whenever Donnie came around and joined the team. But then you can see that change into modern action, sort of the use of Westerners that could bust a move, such as Donnie's friends from home and fellow students. And that would allow Donnie also to have some input on how he could look better too, and what he could do. Because I'd already been wowed by the great Mike Woods in both Tiger Cage 2 and in The Line of Duty 4, his appearance in the first Tiger Cage movie, when I got round to seeing it, was a very welcome sight, of course. I never imagined that a man of that size and stature could move the way he does, but that's just the joy of Hong Kong cinema, where we're constantly surprised and shocked at what's on offer. In terms of picking a favourite fight between Mike and Donnie, that's a very hard question, because I think the two of them have some incredible moves across many different movies. Obviously Tiger Cage 2 and In the Line of Duty 4 really stand out there, but there's also Crystal Hunt and The Wild Cheetah on Fire. But yes, I think definitely that fight here between them in Tiger Cage 2 probably just sits on top for me as one of the most exciting showdowns between the both of them. John made equally as great an impression as Mike Woods did when I first saw him in Tiger Cage 2 and in The Line of Duty 4, both of which allowed him to show something a little different as an on-screen fighter. And although he joined them again for Crystal Hunt and Cheetah on Fire, I'd have to say definitely that his role here in Tiger Cage 2 as the fighter with the katanas is by far his greatest on-screen appearance during his time in Hong Kong cinema. I do think that the films made by Yuen Woo-ping and Donnie Yen together were a very special chapter of Hong Kong cinema, because fans knew that when they saw these guys together on the same video cover or poster artwork, that it was going to deliver something special, with the exception of Iron Monkey 2, of course. And although it was seemingly short-lived in the grand scheme of things, I would say that the pair of them really delivered a really strong 8 movies, which kind of made their reteaming for the underrated Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sequel all the more exciting to wait for, almost 2 decades later. While it's certainly not as strong as its predecessors, Tiger Cage 3 still proves to be quite an entertaining watch, I believe. Although it's fair to say that Chung Kwok Lung isn't really the strongest replacement for someone like Donnie Yen, even though he did appear in some fun titles over the years, such as Satanic Crystals, Fatal Termination, Angel Enforcers, Dragon from Russia, and New Kids in Town with Moon Lee. But he just never really oozed that same on-screen presence as Donnie Yen could. I also think you can see Yuen Woo-ping's disappointment here in not having his star on board for this one. But of course, Donnie was away making movies like Crystal Hunt, Cheetah on Fire, Holy Virgin versus the Evil Dead, New Dragon Gate in Butterfly and Sword, and of course Once Upon a Time in China 2, which Yuen Woo-ping was also the choreographer for. But I think also then with Tiger Cage 3, Yuen Woo-ping stepped back as the main choreographer, allowing for his brother Yuen Chun-yi to step in there, and a very young Didi Koo to make his debut as an action choreographer. Although I'd say I probably prefer the action in Tiger Cage 1 and 2, I certainly wasn't disappointed at what was on offer here in Tiger Cage 3. I think the action design may have flowed better had it kept the same style as the first 2 chapters, of course, but I can also understand that Yuen Woo-ping probably wanted to try something a little different, considering the loss of having Donnie Yen on board for this chapter. I think fight choreography as a whole is a very difficult thing to settle on, especially when you're following up with some successful chapters of a series, of course. And although certain moves suit a more brutal tone than others, maybe the decision to do so here is another reason that this film kind of fell to the wayside and got lost among the success of its predecessors. It goes without saying that with the films that I have seen and the work done by both Yuen Woo-ping and Donnie Yen have inspired and influenced me definitely in many ways when it comes to filmmaking. You know, I've been watching these guys for over 40 years now, and each of their films, their moves, Their styles are practically ingrained here. I've always enjoyed Wu Ping as a director, and there has definitely been moments where I'm on set when I think back to the work that he's done to try and help me get a shot needed and completed. But yeah, what a legend, eh? So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews and follow me on Instagram @InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu and I will see you soon.